Welcome back to the High Sierra Report. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Mike Parent, and to my left in the studio, Misty D from Tahoe Turning Point, and you are the lead drug and alcohol counselor there, doing great things in the community for kids and getting them back on the right track. Give us an overview of what you do and the day in the life of your role at Tahoe Turning Point.
We do a lot of assessments of teens to find out what, if any, types of drug and alcohol issues they might have, as well as dealing with a lot of mental health issues that are often co-occurring in drug and alcohol issues.
And a lot of that stemming from the parents, right? The nature versus nurture thing. What kind of role do the parents play in this whole program?
The parents are the role models in these children's lives. It's important that you develop a rapport, an open communication with your children. For example, ask them how their day was. Ask them, if there's things bothering them. Have dinner together. Do things like that. Those are key things to find out how your children are feeling, what's going on.
Right.
In their lives.
I think the biggest point there is that open dialogue and communication.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you don't ask, you'll never know, right? I mean, kids aren't just going to come out and just tell. I mean, that's not the nature when they're in that state. How can parents educate themselves on, say, tendencies of a child in need or anything like that? How can they educate themselves?
The parents are the front row of a child's life. They need to be able to see how their children are behaving, and realize that this is a time in their lives where there's a lot of peer pressure, there's a lot of bullying. They're trying to fit in. Oftentimes they'll try to fit in ways that are inappropriate, and it leads them down the wrong track. They have to be aware of that and work towards helping their children develop healthy morals and values.
Right. I mean, we've all been there at some point, right? Feeling that pressure. What can parents look for in their teens? What are some of the symptoms? Would you call them symptoms?
Symptoms, yeah. Signs.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. What would be some of the signs?
The one thing that parents need to understand is that drugs and alcohol don't care if you're rich or if you're poor. They attack anyone and everyone. A lot of times it can be stemmed from the parents having abuse in their history, drug and alcohol abuse. They need to look for things like isolation, not wanting to share with families anymore. If you develop these open dialogues with your children early on in life, then when they stop talking to you, you're going to know that something's wrong.
Again, going back to the open communication,
exactly.
That not happening.
Yeah, letting them know that you're there for them no matter what. You need to be able to, see that maybe they're not taking care of themselves as well. They're hanging out with the wrong crowds. Constant sinus infections if they may be using some types of chemicals. Keeping an eye on your own medications to make sure that your medications are accounted for, because having the "my child would never do that" attitude is going to cause a problem. You have to be able to be open-minded and know that every child is susceptible to this.
In the unfortunate case that a parent does see any of these signs, throw out the phone number to contact you or the Tahoe Turning Point real quick.
It's 541-4594.
Thank you, Misty D, for coming in. That is Misty D from the Tahoe Turning Point. We will be back with more High Sierra Report right after this.